Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss.
So, are you ready for the interview?
Yes, Miss, I'm ready.
Nice. Shall we start from the first question? Okay, so would you mind telling a little bit about yourself that others may be surprised to know about you?
Sure. My name is Baby Ariza Putri Darwis, or you can call me Baby. I live in Tangerang, and I studied psychology at Mercubuana University. During my college years, I was an active student. I joined organizations, volunteers, committees, and internships to develop the potential and abilities that exist within me. Balancing those activities with my university helped me develop skills around prioritization and time management, which is also essential for this role. I've also done my research, and it seems like this is the right company for me to do meaningful work and contribute my skills in an area I'm passionate about.
What are your greatest strengths?
My greatest strengths are being empathetic with someone and being a friendly person. I'm grateful that I've always had those abilities. A previous mentor once told me that I'm a good person to be around in a sticky situation and inspire those around me to be more creative.
Okay, and what would you say about your weaknesses?
My weakness would be that I get anxious speaking in front of a large audience, which negatively impacts my performance. To address the issue, I've been practicing my public speaking skills repeatedly. Since doing it, my lecturer complimented me on my increased confidence while I was doing a presentation.
I see. And why are you interested in this position?
I'm interested in this position because I can see that in this role, my skills could help solve problems and accomplish your company goals. Also, I like the culture of your company. From what I've heard and what I've been reading about the company, it seems like your company has a good reputation and good working environment. Moreover, working in this company has been my dream since I was in college, Miss.
And can you tell me why should we hire you?
I'm glad that you asked this question. I noticed that interpersonal skill was mentioned in the job description many times. That is a core strength of mine and something I've been able to develop throughout all my previous roles. I have the skills and experience you're looking for, especially the ability to build a relationship of trust and respect with clients. I did counseling with my client weekly in my previous role, and I had the highest client feedback score. So, you might see that I'm passionate about counseling. This type of work excites me.
Okay, next question is what experiences such as organization, volunteer work, or committee did you have? Have you had?
Yes, I have. As I said before, when I was in college, I was one of the active students who took part in various activities. I was a member of the Indonesian Art Club, volunteered as a brand ambassador, part of the college committee, became a speaker in webinars, and attended various trainings, including basic peer counselor training. From those activities, I learned to develop new skills such as time management, teamwork, communication skills, and basic counseling skills. However, apart from the various activities that I participate in, I still prioritize my obligations as a student to get good grades and graduate in time.
That is great. So, where would you like to be in your career 5 years from now?
Um, Actually, I don't necessarily know where I will be out in 5 years. But what I do know is that I will continue to learn and be better than I was 5 years ago. The most important thing is that I still want to be at this company and make a difference.
What is your professional achievement or success story that you're most proud of, and why?
I would say when I had the highest client feedback score in my counseling session for the first time. It's the thing that I remember the most, and I will always be proud of it because becoming a counselor has been my dream since childhood. I have always dreamed of being a useful and likable person to others. So, with this achievement, I feel like my dream has been achieved, and that's what keeps me motivated all the time.
All right. And the next is, would you mind to tell us your biggest failure that you've experienced? How have you gone through it?
When I was in my internship, my team and I were given a task to prepare a presentation about ideas that could improve revenue generation. At the time, each of us was asked to use a particular font type and font size. But by the end of the day, I had forgotten this little yet important detail. When I finally opened the presentation, the font wasn't clear enough. It was a humiliating experience for me as my audience couldn't read anything. But thankfully, my boss and the other team appreciate our ideas and everything turned out to be okay in the end. Anyway, it was indeed a day of enlightenment for me as I learned that attention to detail is essential.
And how would you describe your own working style?
My work style is highly flexible. Working on so many different projects requires me to be adaptive. So, I would say that I can adapt to any workplace. I work well on my own, but I am more than happy to work with others for collaborations or team-based projects. I take my position seriously, and I'm entirely dedicated and driven to succeed.
Good. What skill would you like to improve? And what is your plan for doing so?
As a counselor, I'm always looking for ways to improve my related skills, especially communication skills. In my previous roles, I realized that everyone has a different personality. So, the style of the communication should also be adapted to each person. Some people prefer to talk seriously, and some prefer to tell stories with a splash of humor. So, I plan to research how to have a better sense of humor by practicing, keeping up with the trends, and interacting with various people.
All right. Um, I want to ask you, if there were something in your past you were able to go back and do differently, what would that be?
To be very honest, I have a lot of insecurity back then. I used to compare my achievements with other people. If I could go back in time, I would focus only on myself. I realized that everyone struggles and has their way of success. So, instead of looking at other people's achievements, it's better to find out more about my potential and develop it well.
Could you tell us about a time when you had a difficult working condition or relationship with a colleagues? What was the challenge? How did you overcome it?
When I was in my internship, I worked a lot in a team. There was a time when my colleague had slow progress at work. Actually, her quality was great, but we kept shifting projects around because we couldn't rely on her consistently. Over time, I finally found out that she was feeling demotivated. So I asked her if anything was bothering her and asked what I could do to help her. And the reason was she hasn't missed a deadline since and thanked me for understanding her emotion.
Okay, the next is, I would be interested to know how you spend your leisure time and why do you choose that activity?
Okay, so since I'm an introvert person, I would recharge my energy by giving me time or home activities. I enjoy lying on the couch, reading a self-help book, or watching a good movie. I also enjoy trying new hobbies. Recently, I learned how to dance, and it was really fun. Learning how to do that activity allows me to gain new skills, maintain my mental health, and creativity. I may not master the dance right, but I find joy in discovering patience.
And the last question is, how would your friends describe you?
My friends describe me as a friendly, loyal, empathetic, and caring person. They once told me that I'm always the first one to volunteer and lead the way when it's time to act or whenever something goes wrong. Besides, my friends often come to me when they need to talk or want some help to solve their problems. I think it's because I'm a good listener who tends to validate someone's feelings rather than being judgmental.
That's great. Okay, I think this is the end of the interview. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to check up your email because we will inform you the result as soon as possible. Good luck and nice to meet you.
Thank you, Miss. Nice to meet you too.